But botulinum toxin is actually a product that was developed some 20 or 30 odd years ago, and there was a rather clever little person, south coast of England actually, who developed the theme that, with his wife, that if you use judiciously a purified, diluted amount of toxin to a person's forehead, it actually took away the line and the wrinkle. And it really escalated from there, and you have to take your hands up and say, this is a great product, because it's also used in really quite serious medical conditions like spasm of sphincters or bladder problems, bowel problems, lower esophagus problems, people with sweating problems, people with severe muscle spasm like you're born with a torticollis, which is a wry neck. Botox actually relaxes and cures an awful lot of people. It has a downside, and that it is a product made from a bacterium which is killed, purified, and made medical grade. Part of its reconstitution, though, is you have to use human albumin, which is a blood product, which everybody takes the precaution to make a product that you don't have any form of transmissible disease. But that's the only little bit really that gives me a little bit of cause for hesitation. Botox works effectively at what we call the motor neuromuscular junction. So a nerve will transmit an impulse across a gap to the muscle to cause it to contract. And that chemical that sits in that little area is known as acetylcholine. And what it does, it prevents that little product being produced. So when you give it to somebody, you have to wait for the supply of that motor end plate to have gone away, and it will not be reproduced. So it takes 3 to 5 days to actually work. It doesn't work straight away. And it may even take up to 2 weeks till you finally exhaust it. And the faster you move, the more you contract, maybe the faster the effect will be. We also, if you put too much as a surgeon into one little area and you do too much moving too quickly, you will actually spread its effect, because it doesn't just work where you inject it. It will disseminate a little bit within that tissue to have a sphere of influence slightly beyond what you've injected. Now we as surgeons have different forms of this botulinum toxin, and obviously we don't need to go into the trade names of it, but it's actually not licensed for use in facial ritids and lines and creases and that sort of thing. There is one particular product that is, and that's just really licensed for the central area. We can use Botox off license, if you like, to differentially paralyse muscles, to elevate an eyebrow, or to drop an eyebrow, or to take away lines and creases around the sides of the eyes. We can also use it to change shapes of noses or bunny lines, or people with very tight muscle contractures around the jaw. We can even use it to change the direction of creases. But it has to be used really, really carefully, and we have to understand that what we paralyse, that muscle always has an equal and opposite muscle going the other way, which then will become stronger because it's unopposed. So you end up with a differential pull going in the opposite direction. And the unwanted effects that you need to know about, there's really only 2 key areas that I worry about. One is a little bit above the midline of the eyebrow, and the other is in the midline of the eye going down to the corner of the mouth. Any Botox in either of those 2 areas could paralyse muscles that you don't want. So a lot of thought needs to go into which muscle groups you're treating and what you're trying to achieve with the Botox. And its effects only last 3 months because, by and large, this chemical transmitter finally returns. So if you get an unwanted effect, you've got to wait 3 months at least to get over it.